The 2019 raunchy comedy Airplane Mode stars Logan Paul, the chaotically famous YouTuber who's best known for two things: his vlog in a Japanese forest, and having a hairstyle that just won't move no matter how much it would make you feel better to see it move just a little bit. Is it plastic? Is it a helmet? I gotta know. This movie was actually shot back in 2016 and then shelved for one of those two reasons. And I'll give you a hint, it's not for the hair thing, that's just a personal issue that I have. But we're very lucky because the powers that be released Airplane Mode in 2019 and let us finally see all of the hard work that went into this film from the four screenwriters of this movie, which include Jake Paul and Logan Paul, as well as plenty of appearances from the most annoying social media people you've ever met. Like, imagine all of those people who were famous on Vine in 2015. Imagine being stuck next to them on an airplane. I would be opening that emergency exit so fast, like, depressurize this cabin, baby, I don't care. I was very shocked when I watched this movie because it both had me bored and offended the whole time. And that makes for an excellent candidate for clip breakdown. So today we're diving in to see what makes Airplane Mode one of the least funny comedy movies I've ever seen in my life. And if you had any sort of favorable opinion about Logan Paul before this, I'm here to help you put that into question. Ugh, I hated it. Let's stay tuned. Hello television viewers, my name is Nick. Thank you so much for joining me once again on my channel for another clip breakdown. This is the playlist where we dive into our favorite movies, TV shows, and media and just dissect it like a kid with a scalpel to figure out what's working and what's horrifying. It's like always a good mixture of both. But before we get into this movie, make sure you give this video a big thumbs up if you want to see even more clip breakdowns like this. Let me know in the comments what I should cover. And most importantly, if you're new to my channel, I would love to have you click that subscribe button right down here, looking that way you never miss new videos from me. Ring that bell icon and you'll get notified every time I upload new videos, at least 2 a week, baby. You want to stay in the know for this. This is the story about a girl named Logan. It's like so embarrassing when I watch Logan Paul. It always has been. He's got this really rambunctious personality that I can see why young people really related to at the beginning of his career, but he's clearly aged out of that audience and now does a little bit more mature things like podcasts. So this movie was a really interesting sort of time capsule because it was shot 3 years before it actually came out, and so much had changed in the social media landscape during that time. So a lot of his friends that were famous on Vine were already having memes about them, about how unfunny they are. So a lot of this movie just felt like it was already dated. And that's an issue we've had with a lot of these social media stars who create movies, but that's not your problem, okay? Your problem is that you have to sit through Logan Paul's movie with me, and here we go. Getting kind of tired of your broken promises? Okay, let me just finish up some emails real quick before we get started. That was good planning. So I'm not even gonna explain to you the plot of this movie. All you have to know is that it basically takes place on an airplane the entire time, in the most unrealistic looking airplane set, and you can tell right from the intro credits, which are all animated to be like a safety guide, what kind of movie we have going on here.
As a reminder, racial profiling is strictly tolerated. Please report any suspicious ethnicity.
Racial profiling is a great place to start a joke. It's like they try to give you all these fast-paced jokes that are supposed to be hilarious right in the opening credits, but I can't even hear them or listen to them because my eyes are being visually murdered by these graphics. You know, my Adobe Creative Cloud account also comes with After Effects. You don't see me going ham on my intro. The editor sat down and said, okay, Logan, we did our best to make this movie 90 minutes long, and we're still only at about 75 minutes. What do you want us to do? Logan sat there with his Pokemon hat or whatever he wears, and he said, let's just do 10 more minutes of credits. The movie begins with Logan trying to video chat in a sexual way with his Australian girlfriend named Ariel. Everyone in this movie basically plays a fictionalized version of themselves. Logan seems to be acting like he's a teenager here living in his parents' house, but he's also sort of in this adult space where he's a social media star and a legal adult. I don't know. It doesn't matter. Logan cannot get any privacy, and when he's first interrupted, I'm like, why do you have these huge bruises on your legs? Can we get some MAC face and body makeup for this guy? I don't know if he was wrestling out in the backyard before this, but boys will be boys. Also, the first interruption comes from Juan Paz, which is, in this movie, Logan's foreign exchange brother, which I know for a fact is not a thing. You could be a foreign exchange student. And Ariel asks where his real brother Jake is, and he said,
what about your real brother, Jake?
Oh, Disney got him.
Okay.
Which I think is supposed to be an inside joke because Jake at the time in 2016 was shooting the Disney show Bizaardvark, and there's no way Disney Channel would have let him appear in this movie. So I think that's why they just replaced his character with Juan Paz, who is supposed to be funny because he has an accent. This whole first scene is chaos and utter drivel. Like, he's trying to pleasure himself with his girlfriend on camera, and then Lele Pons comes in and tries to like take videos of it, and all she does is scream and jump on his back. Like, let me see the part of the script that says, and then Lele comes in and wastes another 10 minutes of my life. I want to know why they thought that that was important in this scene. Can you tell me? Let me know in the comments below. Logan Paul, if you're watching this, I've got a couple questions. You better stay tuned. I'm gonna have a list. And like, Juan Paz only came in for almond milk? What? And why is there a sight gag about nut milk? This movie, I can tell what it was trying to do. It's trying to be like a screwball comedy in the vein of Airplane, which it's very derivative of. Very derivative of. And other movies like that would be like Scary Movie, Disaster Movie, where it's like tons of cutaways and sight gags and cameos that are just supposed to be like, but I mean, it would help if even just one of those were funny. Even just one of them. None of them were funny. I'm sitting here waiting for the joke, like, let me give this some water. See how good I am at doing things? Next, we have Andrew Batchelor come in. He was famous on Vine under the name King Batch, and I recognize him from the Netflix movie The Babysitter, but more recently, you might have seen him in Nothing.
Yeah. And I hate to break it down, but your girlfriend probably got a dick.
I'm sorry, I remember 2016 really well, and I don't think transphobia was funny then either. It's apparently just amongst this friend group, because they make that joke about the internet girlfriend several times. But then it's supposed to be funny because all of these friends start coming out of the different areas of Logan Paul's room and telling him about #Con, which takes place in Australia, and how that would be a great excuse for him to get on a plane and visit his girlfriend Ariel in person. They have this guy, what's his name? Nick Bateman, who's a model, and I also know him to have been in at least one Hallmark movie. They have him do this thing where he climbs out from under the bed, but it's clearly too difficult for him because it takes a long time for him to get out of there, and then he's completely out of breath when he delivers his line.
Yeah, man, #Con. Everyone's gonna be there. It's gonna be awesome.
It's gonna be awesome. You can see his fingers like gripping at the carpet to try to get himself out of there at the beginning, and I'm just like, that's the universe telling you don't gotta be in this movie. The only issue is Logan is afraid to fly, and he flashes back to when he was 10, and then he wanted to jump out of a tree with wings on, even though that's not the same as flying in an airplane, and he broke both of his femurs, resulting in these scars that his friends make fun of him for. Like, I can't even think of a way to make that funny. So he's like really ashamed of these femur scars in his legs, and those are his big reason why he can't fly. But none of that had to do with the plane crash. You had some airplane wings on your back. Couldn't there have been some sort of scary event involving a plane in his childhood that might also be funny? Like, he had some crazy aunt that he went on a plane ride with, and he was sat between her and some gross person, and he was squeezed in between there, and the turbulence freaked him out. Like, you can actually reference some of the other stuff that's gonna happen in this movie on an airplane and show that that's like where his fear began. That way, as it starts to unfold, he has this moment that he has to be like, you know what, I'm not a kid anymore. I'm gonna stand up to my fears, and I'm gonna take on this dilemma. I just feel like I can hear them all sitting around the table being like, oh, and then it'd be funny. We like flash back and Logan's about to jump out of a tree. Okay, that's fine. Put those ideas in a bulleted list somewhere on your phone, and then bring them to an actual screenwriter who will trash them and get started on a real movie for you. Great? This is stupid. This whole movie is stupid. Like, all of these social media friends are jumping up and down, for example, because they're just excited to get on a plane. They're shaking as actually disturbing the adult film that's being made by a bunch of termites inside the floorboards. You know when you're 6 minutes into something and you're like, oh, this might kill me. I might die in the next hour. That's how I felt when I watched this. Logan is basically not on board to go to Australia because he's afraid to fly, until Juan Paz is like, no, we gotta go because I want to lose my virginity. So that brings in this other cliche element from a lot of other teen comedies that we've seen because our parents were asleep when we were 12.
But let's do it! Yeah!
That was another area where I was like, 2016, I remember you, when they do that. Oh, I'm not gonna do it either, but they do that dance thing. What was that called? It was already dated by the time this came out in 2019. And to me, I'm just like, they had every opportunity to cut the things that were going to be offensive or unfunny or not working in the movie. Like, they had 3 years to really edit this or do reshoots. It doesn't seem like they did any of that. They just put out the movie as it was and were like, well, people are either gonna love it or they're gonna hate it. And 99.9% of the world was like, option B, thank you. Incidentally, Logan is also scared of Australia because there are big spiders there. And then he he's scared because they find out that someone named Vitaly, played by Vitaly Zordzorevsky, okay. He's a Russian-American YouTuber who was famous for his prank videos. And he's playing some Hannibal Lecter type prankster who is being extradited to Australia for a dingo-related prank. Throughout the movie, he murders people, so I don't know why they keep calling him a prankster. Either way, he's on the plane too, so you know there's gonna be some extra conflict there. But not before these needlessly disgusting asides.
Bye, Mom. Bye, Dad. I'm gonna miss you, Mom.
Miss you.
What in the VC Andrews are we doing here, Logan? Why would you show me a girl make out with her dad and her mom and then just have that be nothing? Like, are you kidding me? My notes just said, this movie is disgusting. The scene where they're at the TSA is all sorts of chaos, and this is actually the part that I saw some behind the scenes footage at. If you look at Casey Neistat's video, he does a cameo in this, and back in April of 2016, he had a vlog of him behind the scenes of this shoot. Looks like this TSA stuff was shot on the first day. And again, this is more examples of people just stealing jokes. And a lot of the times it's like a meme that doesn't have an actual comedian or originator associated to it. And that apparently made Logan Paul think that he could just take that and put it in his movie.
Are you in possession of any explosives?
Nope, just this bomb-ass pussy.
I know for a fact that this movie came out after that meme did, because if you look here, it came out before April 2016. It was already posted online. Don't steal your jokes, Logan Paul. We just meet these characters 1 second at a time. They're just one of this faceless crowd of people. Oh, and let me get started on the racism. So Logan Paul and all of his white friends are checking into the regular TSA that we just saw. And then Juan Paz has to go to this TSA, where he almost gets deported, but convinces them to deport him to Australia instead. And I'm just wondering, what part of arriving at the airport to fly out somewhere would they deport you? It's normally when you're landing, right? Anyway, this is a joke.
Whoa! Benny? Oh my God, long time no see.
This guy is actually Mexican. Wouldn't he have a problem doing this scene? Like, Mexican people don't necessarily have chicken farms. It's like a really developed country in many areas. Like, his whole character is just that he's foreign. Logan is very panicked by being in an emergency row, so he's helped out by Bruce, the flight attendant, who continues to annoy me throughout this whole movie. Not because he's a bad actor, he's probably one of the strongest in the film, but his character is offensive. I sound like a social justice warrior, but I'm allowed to be offended by this one because he's gay, and so am I.
Well, luckily for you, the passenger in 2E just passed away, so I can upgrade you to first class if you like.
What do you mean, passed away?
Is there a secondary meaning to passed away that I'm not aware of? Like, what do you mean passed away? He dead. You're sitting in a dead person's seat, just like I'm sitting in a dead person's body because I'm dying while watching this movie. By the time the credits roll, I'm gonna be a withered cockroach husk that's all white and crispy. And it's your fault, Logan Paul. I'm not buying your t-shirt now. I'm not buying your Maverick clothing. Oh, by the way, for those who don't know, Maverick is the name of Logan Paul's, like, parrot, his bird, who's now dead, but was a big part of his brand, is the name of his clothing line, and Maverick is in this movie. Oh, also, this movie seems to have been sponsored by some big brands. Like, we see Wendy's in this next shot, and you'd think after the 2016 scandal, they would have reached out and been like, you're gonna need to cut that product placement, but they didn't.
Hi, there you go.
Now, I appreciate a perfectly food-styled Wendy's Frosty as much as anybody, but especially now in the age of the pandemic, we're gonna need some lids on those cups. Thank you, sir. Some gloves would be great. Just some plot points that we have to set up so we're not confused later. We see one woman with her baby who she doesn't know who the dad is, and that's supposed to be funny. Oh, some more cameos. We have a young-looking David Dobrik talking to an older woman who's flying to see her dying lover in order to get laid one last time. Here's another rule of comedy. If you have an old lady say something raunchy, that's guaranteed laugh. When he's at his seat, Logan Paul is joined by his new seat neighbor, whose name is Jenna. She's played by Chloe Bridges, who I was very excited to see. Look at her lips, they're gorgeous. This woman is beautiful, and I recognized her from Camp Rock 2, The Final Jam. Camp Rock! I love all the Camp Rock movies. I should cover those sometime. Those are so good. What Disney Channel original movies should I cover? Let me know in the comments. Anyway, Chloe Bridges is like a spunky, cool girl that Logan ends up kind of vibing with on this plane, and it's very exciting because even she has something in common with him.
Oh my God! You have femur scars! Matching femur scars!
What an impossible, improbable, never gonna happen, worthless plot point. You can also tell, like in other movies we've watched on this channel, that they sort of allow the improvisation to go on too long, because there's a lot of this meow, well, doo going on that just takes up a lot of extra minutes.
Well, how did you get yours?
Plane crash. I'm kidding. No one survives those. No. I like to play out in your head, though. That was funny.
Okay.
No.
You got me good. You have a weird sense of humor.
But I like it.
The flight attendant is like, ladies, gentlemen, can I get you some ball gags? Because this banter is insufferable. I cannot believe they put this cameo of Curtis Lepore in this movie. He should not be in this movie. He's canceled AF. I'm sure, like, why do all of these YouTuber movies have people in them who were later accused of sexual assault? So back to that flight attendant Bruce. We're not winning any inclusivity awards for this one.
Look at you, my little fluffy haired Cub Scout. Oh, that seat back is gonna be the only thing in upright position. I'm gonna break you like a new pair of sneakers.
I can hear you.
For some unexplained reason, Logan realizes he can hear the thoughts of this gay flight attendant, and that's not explained for any reason. They don't need you to know why, if that's a magical power of his. But I'm just confused as to why Logan would put a portion of the movie in his script where the gay men are obsessed with the way he looks. Because I'm a gay man, and I could not be less obsessed with the way Logan Paul looks. He looks like the kind of guy who was mean to me in gym class. He looks like the kind of person who freshman year learned how to do a bench press, got laid 6 times, and decided that made him the best person on earth. This is not someone who does well in the gay community. Not only can you not read my thoughts as a gay man, you don't want to read my thoughts about you. Now we get the namesake of the movie. They're taking off and they're like, everyone put your phones into airplane mode. But of course, everybody's a social media star, so they're like, no way, we're gonna use our phones. And this was also a meme back in the day. Like, people were like, when they tell me to turn my airplane mode on, I know they're just lying to hog all that Wi-Fi for themselves. And that's a joke that one of the characters made on this plane. I just feel like if I'm watching your movie, I shouldn't be able to think, oh yeah, I remember that joke from Tumblr in 2014, right? Like, there should be some original comedy in there. In the hullabaloo of everybody using their phones, there is just another piece of dated, memed out nonsense where Lele Pons is using her phone and literally making that face that they say all Instagram comedians make.
It's a cell phone!
I want to see if I can make that face. Tell me if I'm doing it. Okay, pretend I'm Lele Pons. Does that look cool? Am I making you laugh? Okay, it is kind of funny to do, but I think that's just because I like silly faces. It's not funny. Because of the haywire nonsense in the cockpit, both of the pilots actually get electrocuted and die, but they land in such a way that the flight attendant thinks that they're just having oral sex with one another. Because I don't know if you heard, but gay people is funny. Have you heard that 2 men having sex is hilarious? I don't know why, but it makes me sad. Meanwhile, the film is blowing all of their budgets on these long panning shots of slow motion chaos in the cockpit. You can tell this was probably the most fun anybody had on set, was just being like, oh, we get to spray liquid and confetti, and it's gonna be all in slow motion. That's why they used all 2 minutes of this shot going back and forth. But the whole time I'm just thinking, like, how long can a plane have 2 dead pilots before anyone notices? Eventually someone has to steer, right? There's also a air marshal on board who is transferring Vitaly, the serial prankster, and he's awful too.
Hey, what's your problem?
I got no problem. I'm just racist. I do respect the queers, though. They've been through a lot.
Hi, yes, Barack Obama. I've got someone here that needs to be killed. I just feel like it's Logan Paul being like, oh, I'm so cool with gay people that I can make jokes about them. Doesn't come off that way. I'm a queer person and I'm just looking, do I feel included? No. Do I feel marginalized? Yeah, cool. Thanks, Logan. Logan and Jenna start to get a little closer. She's like, what do you like so much about this Ariel girl? And he's like, well, she's the only one who can make me snort, meaning laugh, which proves to be crap because then Jenna's like, I can make you snort too. And then she makes him laugh. And at this point, I'm like, I don't know about snorting, but you can make me snore. Cause oh my God, if I have one more conversation with a stranger in an airplane seat, like I'm not actually on a flight to Australia, why should it feel just as tedious? I'm like, oh, something bad? Okay. Oh, something stupid? Okay. That wasn't funny. That's me watching this movie. I did legitimately fall asleep at the end and had to go back and rewatch, which is like the most annoying thing because I'm like, oh, I already watched that. It sucked. We kick off with this B plot line that kind of melds into a C, D, F plot line of the baby escaping the mother who we saw earlier. I think this is trying to be like a funny Snakes on a Plane reference, but they did not go far enough with it if that's the case. I think Snakes on a Plane is actually a really good movie for the concept. Like, if you're gonna make a movie take place all on a plane, which several movies have done, it needs to really be suspenseful. I need to be able to get a sense of the plane's layout, and I need to feel like, oh, this all has to happen before we land. I don't know if I ever got that from this movie. I mean, the plane set itself, we have that long corridor, that looks fine, but then there are places like in the stewardess area where it's just a bunch of curtains hung up, and nothing looks more to me like a big soundstage. It looks like the exit to a movie theater. Finally, Clarice, the flight attendant, realizes that her pilots are dead, so she goes and tells the air marshal, who has to leave Vitaly, but he somehow gets a hold of her pin, which he's gonna use to escape. Logan overhears the commotion in the cockpit, because apparently he can hear everything, and apparently cockpit doors don't get locked, because he just opens it up as well to find these dead pilots. And just as the air marshal is being like, oh, I'm gonna help you, I know how to fly a plane, Vitaly comes in and snaps his neck. So again, I don't know why we're calling him a serial prankster here. Wouldn't it have set the stakes up even higher if we knew he was a dangerous murderer from the beginning? They show him in this Hannibal Lecter getup and they're like, he's a prankster who let dingoes go in a kindergarten classroom. Couldn't they have been like, he's a cannibal who eats faces and hates social media celebrities? That would have been a little funny, because then they could be like, don't kill us, don't you know I'm a YouTuber? And he's like, I don't have social media. And they're like, oh. See, that could be kind of funny because they're poking like fun at their stupid job. So anyway, the air marshal is killed. The two guys who fly the plane are killed. And this whole scene is annoying. Like, they couldn't have gotten any alternate angles. They got one shot of this whole scene where someone comes in and gets killed, and then Logan and Clarice pass out, but we don't see that. We just see them like sit down. I'm sick of being stuck behind this cockpit. Oh, but I know that there are space limitations because we learned from the behind the scenes that this is the actual cockpit and plane used in the movie Airplane, which is largely what inspired this movie. Although I don't think it's fair to say, oh, we were inspired by Airplane and then steal every one of their jokes, but make them less funny.
Cream? No, thank you. I take it black, like my man.
Coffee, sir?
Yes, please.
How would you like it?
Like I like my women. Black and full of cream.
Nick Swartzen grabs that missing baby who has apparently been walking around on the floor of an airplane all night without making a sound. Nick Swartzen grabs the baby and starts treating it like its own. We just saw Nick Swartzen in that movie, The Wrong Missy. He convinces the flight attendant that it's his baby in the most stupid way possible. And also, don't do this to real babies.
Oh, no, it's a miracle.
Oh, God.
Yeah, milk facial.
Squirting fake milk into that baby's face is so not it. Whose baby is that? I would be like, can we do the liquid thing on someone else's child? Thanks. Vitaly goes and kidnaps the other flight attendant named Bruce, and then Logan finds himself woken up with the dead pilots. And then they give us this other scene that is also disgusting and too long. It's like, I feel like I can feel the directors behind the camera being like, this is gonna be so funny, look what he's doing, he's really going there. But I'm just watching as an audience member being like, boo! Add more funny lines. That was like a full minute and a half of him blowing air into these sloppy, dead cadaver mouths. And everyone who encounters these dead bodies throughout the whole movie, the first thing they try to do is wake them up in a funny way. And it's like, what part of your eyes are not seeing that their flesh is decaying? And it's also just like, if you're pulling off all these jokes and it's not funny the first time, like, why would it be funny in the I don't know. I'm gonna take a little break. I'm hot. Okay, let's get back to the fun of it. Oh, yeah. Logan goes and gets his foreign exchange brother, Juan Paz, and shows him the dead pilots.
Should we try CPR?
I already tried that.
Wait. So this means you made out with a guy?
Oh, I'm so tired, everybody. I'm so tired of the gay jokes. And I love a gay joke. I am a gay joke. But if it's not gonna make me laugh, then it's not worth it, right? It's like, this feels really 2010, not 2016. Basically, Juan Paz is like, well, you have to figure this out for yourself because all of the friends on the plane are idiots. No one's gonna help you. So Logan goes and gets Jenna, who is also not gonna be able to help at all. Why is he the only one in charge of this? Like, there should be plenty of people to call on the ground who can help you.
Do you know how to drive a 767?
No, I don't know how to fly a 767.
I'm just gonna go back to my seat and look at pictures of my dog until we crash.
Jenna's initial reaction is, well, I'm just gonna sit in my seat and then die. But then 2 seconds later, when Logan does the same thing, he's like, well, I'm just gonna sit in my seat and forget all of this, and we'll just see what happens.
We're in an emergency right now. You can't just sit there. We need to do something.
Well, geez, Jenna, I'm about to get whiplash from all the flip-flopping you're doing. Do you want to save everybody's life, or do you want to sit with your tray table and your pretzels and die? I know which one I would pick for this movie. Crash and burn, baby. The characters are so inconsistent. Like, Logan himself was just like, what are we gonna do? We have to fix this plane. I'm gonna go sit in my chair and die. And then Jenna is doing the same thing, but opposite. Wanpas gets involved, and he's like, you'll have to fix this plane so I can lose my virginity. Yeah, if you forgot about the virginity thing being part of the storyline, how could you? How could you forget that Pulitzer Prize winning plot point that everyone loved? There's so much confusing stuff. Like, the girl who's looking for her baby gets distracted by all the free booze, and then she's tackled by the other promiscuous girl who made the joke at the beginning, being like, you're a mother, I need this booze. Like, isn't she looking for her baby? Why is she stopping to get drunk? None of these characters make sense. Usually on an airplane movie like this, even in a comedy, you put some vulnerable passengers who, you know, you have to save because they're innocent. So maybe there's a Girl Scout troop on the back of the plane. They could be a bunch of Australian Girl Scouts. That could be funny, because what's an Australian Girl Scout like? That could be some comedy there. And then maybe the Girl Scouts have some skills that they get to team up and help them land the plane with, like earning merit badges. See, I'm having fun talking about this part. I want that Girl Scout troop movie to come out now. What should we call it? In a panic, Logan rips off this lever and he's like, well, we probably won't need that. But then when he gets on the phone with his Australian flight control person, he's like, all you have to do is pull that lever and the plane will land itself. I can't do the Australian accent. Did you hear me? I was like, well, chip chip cheerio, you're just going to fly to Australia? That's British. So he's basically like, oh, you broke that lever up, you're screwed. So Jake has to find, why do I keep calling him Jake? Logan has to go find a new way of doing this, landing this plane. My brain is short-circuiting because the synapses are not connecting around this stupid plot. Every time I look at the screen, I just see a white haze and I hear circus music. The mother, who is still frantically looking for her baby but now is drunk? I don't know. Either way, she confronts Nick Swartzen, who is like, oh, you lost your baby? How awful. And she's like, well, that kind of looks like my baby. And he's like, no, it's not. Girl, do you know your baby or not? Like, how many babies do you think are on this plane? Meanwhile, Vitaly is in the cargo hold of the plane, which is clearly someone's office building. Like, that's a permanent structure. Why is this cargo hold the size of a large gymnasium? He's like torturing the flight attendants with supposed pranks, such as feeding a dog cat food, which was really completely not delivered well. Like, I didn't know what was going on. I was like, is he poisoning this dog? But he wasn't. It was supposed to be funny that he was feeding the dog cat food, and that would have made sense if it was like, oh, he's a serial prankster, so we're treating him like a murderer even though he doesn't murder people. He just does mischievous things. But instead, he throws this flight attendant out the airplane. She dies, I assume. Like, she flies away. That scared me. I was like, she was completely innocent. She was actually the most responsible person on this plane. Meanwhile, Wanpas is trying his best to lose his virginity by talking to this woman who apparently doesn't care about the age of consent.
Aren't you like 16?
17.
Why is it okay for women to assault children in the media? But it would be so wrong if this was opposite. The gender roles were reversed. But it's no less creepy and it's no less disgusting. I hate that a movie is trivializing that type of thing and just playing it for laughs. Like, oh, he's getting laid by an older lady. Vitaly depressurizes the cabin by opening the whole plane door. I don't know if that was his plan the whole time. Like, are you just trying to die yourself? You can't depressurize and repressurize a cabin in the middle of the sky. But anyway, the whole plane starts freaking out because the masks come down, and for some reason not everybody is sucked out of the plane in 1 second, because that's what would happen. This movie is like if SNL never went to college. King Bach gets a selfie stick and manages to hit the emergency door close right before getting sucked out of the plane himself, which is our if you count the lady who died in first class, this is our third death in this comedy movie. And nobody seems to care about these dead characters, yet we're all supposed to care that they themselves might die. Does life or death matter in this movie? I don't know. But Nick Bateman stands up and and he's like, don't worry, I'm a junior pilot and I know I'm gonna land this thing and we're gonna be okay. And this is very much supposed to be like that Samuel L. Jackson moment in the movie Deep Blue Sea, where you're like, oh, the hero is stepping up. And then he turns around and ends up getting killed by Vitaly right away. Vitaly messes with the oxygen supply of the plane and puts chloroform in there, so everyone in the plane starts getting gassed. And at this point, I'm like, what are you trying to do, Vitaly? Are you trying to crash the plane? Are you trying to take control of the plane? Are you trying to make everyone on the plane fall asleep? And then what? What are you gonna do next? Like, what are your pranks? It would be more funny if these were like super weird ways of doing common pranks. Like if he made everybody fall asleep and then was like giving them wedgies or putting their hands in a cup of water. Then it's like, oh, he's just like off the chain, so he's going on these crazy prank sprees that are dangerous because we're on a plane. But instead he just keeps doing random activities that are supposed to be suspenseful. Oh, and we're only 20 minutes from the end of the movie here. I hate plane rides, they're too long. And by the end of this hour-and-a-half movie, I was like, get me off of this plane! Back in the cockpit, Logan and Jenna are about to put on their gas masks as well, but then...
Don't do it, Logan. Vitaly caused me the oxygen supply. Godspeed, my little cream pie.
Jenna, wait, don't put that on. Something's wrong with the oxygen.
How do you know?
I hear gay people.
We don't hear you! What is with this out of nowhere plot point that Logan is able to read the minds of gay people?
You can't hear my thoughts.
Yes, I can, Bruce.
Stop it.
And therefore get the warning from Bruce, the gay flight attendant, not to put on the chloroform mask. Not only is it so far out of left field, like, what? In what, why? Why? Like, does that even relate to anything that Logan Paul has talked about in his real life? Hold on, the smoke alarm's gonna go off for the next 30 minutes now. I feel like in my apartment building, when someone's smoke alarm goes off, they're like, well, we'll just wait till the fire's over. So yeah, not only does Logan somehow magically have the ability to hear only gay people's thoughts in this, but gay people are always thinking things about how hot he is. Logan seems like the kind of person who doesn't have one gay friend. Logan Paul, what if I made a movie about how I can hear your stupid thoughts when you're like, skinny jeans, doing the dab? That's the most help I would get out of listening to your brain. If I was in an emergency situation and I read your mind, I would just know what episode to listen to of Joe Rogan's podcast to learn about MK Ultra. That's not helpful. Because he avoids poisoning himself, Logan is able to go back where everyone's asleep. Him and Vitaly get into this really, I feel like it's a half-assed fight scene. Like, they're trying to choreograph something action-packed here, but it just falls flat. It's too many cuts. I can't really figure out any cool stunts that are happening. Waiting for that fire alarm to end again. I guess it's time to pan fry your fish sticks in this building. Come on, people. The smoke alarms are really sensitive here. That's why I unplug mine whenever I cook. That's not good for fire safety, but it's good for my ears. We're gonna take a break until the fire department comes and sprays me with a hose. You guys, I'm brave. The person whose smoke alarm was going off this whole time, I was getting so annoyed, so I walked up to their door and I said, is everything okay in there? They were like, yeah. And I was like, do you mind unplugging your smoke alarm while you're cooking? Like, do you think maybe the whole building doesn't want to hear your smoke alarm? Like, they were just cooking there, letting the smoke alarm go off. Beep, beep, beep. That's inconsiderate, okay? I know my rights. They're like, sure, yeah, we'll turn it off now, you white bitch. So Logan and Vitaly are doing this fight sequence, and clearly they wanted to show off their wire work abilities because they both fly up to the ceiling. But I think my favorite part is how they had all the extras who were pretending to be asleep do this to make it seem like the plane had just dropped. They all went, "Ooh." Like you're on a roller coaster. Whoa! That looks so realistic. Again, they're fighting in this black curtain room, which is clearly not part of an airplane. And eventually Vitaly gets the upper hand and overcomes Logan once again. There's a lot of scenes of Logan being like incapacitated in this movie. Okay, if you're gonna get smashed against the wall with a fire hydrant that way, I'm gonna need you to die. No one survives that. I'm gonna need you to pass away now. During this struggle, the plane opens once again, and Bruce is almost sucked out of the window, but Logan saves him. And I just wanna point out that in the wide shot, where he's holding on to Logan's leg, that is clearly a stunt person. Like, we can see his full face, and that is not the same actor. But after he saves him, Logan goes back out into the rest of the plane, I guess, and has to stop Vitaly, so he uses that broken autopilot bar to stab him. And eventually his parachute goes off and he gets sucked into the jet, which is like basically something I've seen on Family Guy, I'm pretty sure. And even though you would hope that that would make the movie close to over, they still have to land the plane without a pilot. So the whole time that Logan has been in this dilemma, everyone has sort of been like, oh, we'll just use the autopilot lever, which is funny because the first thing he did after the pilots died was snap off that lever, basically disabling the plane from autopilot. So what we have here is something they call in comedy the rule of threes.
All you have to do is engage the autopilot and the plane will literally land itself.
Engage the autopilot.
the plane will literally land itself.
Once you've done that, it's time to engage the autopilot. The plane will literally land itself.
I liked that they used the rule of threes here just because it's such a reliable comedy rule. Basically, if you're gonna have a recurring joke, 3 times is the best way to do it. Or if you're gonna have a funny list, like so if you said, oh, I'm having such a busy day, I have to go wrap all these Christmas presents, I have to take my car to the shop, I have to visit the grave of my stepchild. That was just a quick little list of 3 things. I don't know what I was talking about. The idea is that you can establish the joke, you can set up the repetition for the joke when you call it back a second time, and then you subvert everyone's expectations with 3rd thing. It feels satisfying. I like the rule of threes. So through this YouTube channel that Logan finds, he's able to successfully land the plane, and then when they land, everybody's having so much fun. You know, it's that cliche end of a plane movie thing where everyone's on the tarmac greeting their loved ones and giving us this little satisfying wrap up. Nick Swartzen stole that woman's baby, and he's literally not giving it back to her, and she's accepting it. She's like, I couldn't find my baby once. And he's like, well, here's some of my biological fluids so that you can make your own baby. And then I started puking until the end of days because he drank it. He drinks his own bodily fluids in this scene. Oh my gosh, you guys. And she's like, she's into it. She's like, no, I need that to make my new baby. Like, is this mother an idiot? She really didn't care about her baby that's in his arms. It's just so gross. Like, why are you being gross? But they're clearly in Australia now. Don't be fooled if this looks like a Burbank airport, but they're like, oh, we're in Australia. And then they cut to a stock video of some kangaroos. It's like, you guys have kangaroos just hanging out right next to the runway? Okay. It's good to see that nature and humanity can live in such tandem. Now, Logan pulls up to the house of his internet girlfriend, Ariel, and he's like, are you ready? But we have another little subversion of what we expect here.
Hey, yeah, it's me, Logan.
You're not Logan?
I'm his foreign exchange brother, and I have an accent.
So Ariel knows that it's not Logan, it's his foreign exchange brother, but since he has an accent, she's still into it and just goes and has sex with him anyway. Whoever told men who are making movies that women are obsessed with accents? Like, no, they're not. So Logan lets Juan Paz take his place with Ariel, and he runs back to meet his true love, which is Jenna.
It took me traveling halfway around the world to realize the
I'm
person
sorry, your
I love.
accent is just...
Guess you worked out everything with your boyfriend.
So while Jenna's on the phone, Logan comes in and realizes her ex is there now, and he's disappointed and starts to walk away. But in, I guess, a less comedic bit, but still following the rule of threes, we have this mind-reading plot device come back in.
Who was that guy? He was hot.
You're gay. You're a gay man, yeah! So are you!
No, I'm here for her.
One kiss, that's all I ask.
Okay. Wait, how did you hear my thoughts?
So outside the door, Logan hears that man's thoughts and realizes he's gay and he thinks I'm super hot. Which, like, I mean, let's say Logan Paul could in fact read the thoughts of gay men. He wouldn't just be hearing them think about how hot he is all the time. He would be hearing some really harsh feedback about his look. Like, if he read my mind, it would be like, ugh, that hair, why does it look like it's gotten sweaty in gym class and then he didn't take a shower? Ew, why is he wearing those shorts? I hate him. Honey, we should experiment with facial hair because you look like a grown baby adult. That's the mind reading he would get from me, so it's really insulting that every gay man in this movie is like, he's so hot. No, he's not. He looks like he would punch me in 5th grade. Also, the fact that this gay man is like, oh, you're not gay? Well, just one kiss is all I ask. No one wants to kiss him, especially a kiss that looks like this. Mwah! Like, that's how you kiss your grandmother. Ain't no gay men kissing that way. Also, when the gay guy walks away, there's this woman caught off guard in the background of the hotel. She looks like Bigfoot caught on tape. She's like, ooh. The alien from Signs. Jenna and Logan finally get together, and this tension, this will they, won't they, that they experienced over a 15-hour plane ride was not it. You know, it did not draw me in. I was not like... And all of the conflicts in this movie are resolved so quickly that you can tell they just wanted to get back to the airplane fun. For example, this 3rd act conflict, he misunderstands that she has a boyfriend. They play that out a little bit longer in like other TV movies. Something happens where he realizes right on the plane, oh, that's a gay guy, and then he gets off the plane and runs through the airport and gets to her. That would have been just a little more like, oh, the dramatic irony is building for me. It happens in other periods too. Like at the beginning, all of his friends are like, we gotta go to #Tagacon, it's in Australia. And he's like, oh, I really wanna go, but I'm afraid to fly, so I won't. And then the very next scene, the friend is like, but we can lose our virginity. And he's like, okay. So none of these things really hold water. They're just like really artificial conflicts that the screenwriter put in there because How to Write Screenplays for Dummies said there should be like 3 conflicts. Also, I don't remember if I mentioned it at the time, but I feel like wearing those zip-up onesies, it just makes me want to punch. It makes me want to punch some holes in a wall, which is a very straight white man thing to do, so maybe this movie is rubbing off on me. Ow. Anyway, Jenna asks another transphobic question.
Wait, I have to know. What happened? Like, did she have a penis?
Actresses have a right to not say the lines. I get it that it's your job to be an actor, but I'm not gonna say something transphobic in a movie if I know it's gonna live on the internet forever. I just don't want to have any part of that. So I think I would speak up and be like, I'm not saying that line. I already shot most of this movie. You can fire me if you want. I'm not saying that line. I say that now, but if someone was like, oh, we're doing a movie and we want you to be waiter number 76, I would be like, perfect, where's my trailer? Regardless of the content. Well, Wanpon, that's not his name. While Wanpos is having sex with Ariel, her black dad comes in, and apparently that's supposed to be the joke. He's like, why is your dad black? And she's like, well, I'm adopted. And then he gets chased around the house. This is really harmful too. Like, are we saying he's more afraid of the dad knowing that he's black? He would be less afraid of a dad walking in on them if he was white? That's really upsetting. Logan also pays another visit to that YouTuber who helped land the plane before, but not without first harming a child.
Connors.
So dumb. This movie is so dumb. What were your least favorite parts? Let me know in the comments below. Tell me what videos I should cover in my next one. This was a doozy. The homophobia really got to me in this one. Maybe because I'm not homophobic. I'm homocentric. I'm not afraid of gays. I dance with them in Fire Island or whatever. Let me know what you guys thought of Airplane Mode. Are there any other Logan Paul things I should check out? Sound off in the comments. Also, give this video a big thumbs up if you want to see even more clip breakdowns of hot movies like this. But most importantly, if you're new to my channel, I would love to have you click that subscribe button right down there. I upload 2 new videos every week, so make sure you turn on those notifications. That way you'll always be right there when we're taking off or landing. You guys are all the greatest. Thank you for going to Australia with me today. I will see you next time.